If you look closely at the depiction of each of these riders, you start to see that they actually represent the weakness of what empire promises us. The first rider is a bowman, and that's not a Roman image. That's not how Rome waged war. That's an image drawn from the tribes that warred with Rome and attacked their borders from the outside, in particular, the Parthians. The second rider is given a sword, but we're told it's not to wage war, it's to take peace. And one of the claims of the Pax Romana, the Roman Empire, was that we brought peace to the world. Except that the way that Rome did that was through the sword. You accept our peace or we kill you. Problem is, if that's the way you achieve peace, what happens when the sword is taken away? Have you really created any peace? The third rider has scales, and we're told that cost of staples like bread and wheat and barley have gone through the roof, and relative luxuries like oil and wine remain cheap and plentiful. This is about boom and bust, and the way that the wealthy can continue in luxury and opulence, even while economic realities can crush those who are just scraping by. And then finally, we get this rider that represents sickness and death and wild animal attacks. And the idea here is that empire promises a lot. Rome makes grandiose claims. But at the end of the day, the emperor really can't save us from what scares us the most, which is mortality. The implication here is not that the Lamb is sending these riders into the world to destroy the world. The implication is that we have put our trust in the wrong places. And so as the fifth and then the sixth seals are opened, we get more and more scared of what's coming. We realize that we have trusted our Romes instead of God, and we cower in fear, expecting the worst. But then there's a surprise. John hears about a tiny remnant saved from retribution, 12,000 from each of the tribes of Israel. And maybe that's the best that he can hope for, right? Maybe that's what you've been taught. Salvation is about squeaking through by the skin of your teeth. Except that when John turns, that's not what he sees at all. It's not 144,000. It's not just from the tribes of Israel. It's an uncountable number drawn from every tribe and every nation and every language, and all of them are worshiping the Lamb. And John has done this to us twice now. Remember, I heard about the Lion of the tribe of Judah, a strong man leader, military warrior that can save us. But then I turned, and what I saw was a lamb looking as if it had been slain. Remember that? Well, that's not a coincidence. It's a motif, or it's a meme, if you will. John is saying, you've heard this. You've been taught these things. I know you've been led to accept a particular image of God, but it's not true. God is not a warrior. God is self-giving love. Salvation is not tiny. It is bigger than you can possibly imagine. In fact, everything you have heard about God pales in comparison to what you see in the grace of Jesus.